I'm not done with you yet. Ladies and gentlemen, fractals. Space exploration. So when the movie Gravity came out, I got in trouble. I'll tell you why in a minute. But it basically has two actors in it, Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. And they're astronauts, and they go into space. I highly recommend the film. It's a terrifying and amazingly filmed. So this is Sandra Bullock on her way to service the Hubble telescope docked with the space shuttle. And so I had a series of tweets that I led off with mysteries of gravity. And then I posed a question that I felt was not properly addressed. For example, Sandra Bullock in this film is a medical doctor. Why the hell is she touching my space telescope? Get her off my machine. This movie portrays a scenario where all satellites are destroyed. That is a real scenario. You can calculate this. The way it works is if you have enough satellites in orbit and you destroy one of them, let's use simple arithmetic so the idea matters here. So you break a satellite into 10 pieces, let's say. And then each one of those pieces breaks another satellite into 10 pieces. So you go from 1 to 10 to 100 to 1,000, and in a few iterations of this, you have destroyed 100% of all the satellites in Earth orbit. And that scenario was portrayed in this film in IMAX 3D stupefying splendor. Now, this is called the Kessler effect. It's real, as I said. It was discovered in 1978, and NASA tracks debris that could do this. You go to the NASA Orbital Debris Program Office, right? There's a website, and I went there, and you could download where all the debris is at this moment that NASA's tracking. So that's Earth in the middle, inside that sort of beehive. That outer ring is the debris that has fallen off from communication satellites. They orbit much higher up. And here it is. You can track them in real time. This is the garbage orbiting Earth. Imagine aliens coming upon this. They say, what the hell is wrong with these people? Let's keep going. That's why we've never been visited, because they're looking at this. I'm not coming near this crap. What? Here's a scene where everything's getting destroyed. Sandra Bullock has a limited amount of oxygen left, and this is George Clooney at the other end of a tether, okay? And she wants to go save him. There's a little bit of romantic tension between them. She wants to go save him, but he knows, and she knows she doesn't have enough oxygen to pull off that task. So he does sort of the manly hero thing, and what does he do? He lets go and drifts away so that she will then not save him. Here's the problem. They are floating in space. All she has to do is tug. Just one tug. And then he will drift towards her. Okay? That could have even been romantic, you know, with the helmets getting closer and closer. Then the hit. She wasn't swinging him around like this. In fact, had he let go, this way, look, if he lets go, it would just stay there. Is that dangling from a cliff? They did a lot of great things with zero-G, you know, notepads floating. They even had flame done properly in 0G. It's fascinating. If you burn a candle in any kind of gravity field, the hot air rises, leaving a partial vacuum, fresh air comes in, giving fresh oxygen to the flame. In 0G, the candle burns, it's using the oxygen in the area, the air gets hot, but it doesn't know which way to go, because there is no up or down, so it just stays there. Then the oxygen consumes, the candle consumes all the oxygen in that bubble of gas, and it extinguishes itself. So they knew this in the film. It's brilliant, they did it brilliantly. The one thing they neglected, and this was, I said, mysteries of gravity, one thing they neglected is her bangs always knew which way gravity was. Now, am I being harsh on the director? Tell me, who said yes? Raise your hand if you said yes. Right up there in the balcony where I can't reach you. Yes, okay. Let me tell you something. Okay, I just want to make it clear, I'm not in this light anymore. Ooh, I love that feedback. Oh, you lowered the mic, yeah. That was gonna have fun with feedback. It's a science experiment. Okay, how about now? Can we go, you can, am I forgiven? Okay. So, here's the thing. A little louder, a little louder, thank you. As I said earlier, I only make a big deal of things where they lost an opportunity, okay? So if you look at anybody in 0G who has hair, free-flowing hair, this is what they look like. So don't give me somebody in your movie whose hair doesn't look like that, because this is the most obvious thing about hairy people in space. So I just thought maybe if her hair were floating, then the hair maybe could have caught on fire. You can have other challenges to the script that just do. So this violated the Mark Twainian premise, I think. Now, I sent out a dozen of these tweets. I saw an early screening of it. I waited till enough people saw it so that my tweets would have relevance. I put out the tweet. Then, Friday night, NBC Nightly News referenced my tweets. Saturday morning, The Today Show referenced my tweets. Saturday evening, Saturday Night Live's Weekend Update referenced my tweets. This was the NBC trifecta. And I said, I was just trying to help people out watch a movie. I didn't mean to start fights. Here it is.
Astrophysicist Neil Degrasse Tyson harshly criticized the hit movie Gravity this week, saying that it contained a number of major scientific inaccuracies. For example, there's no way George Clooney would spend that much time talking to a woman his own age.
I think my movie tweets are so misunderstood. What's the subject again? Space exploration, somebody's paying attention. So let's just go straight in, The Martian. Let's do the trailer. Here we go.
I'm entering this log for the record. This is Mark Watney, and I'm still alive. Obviously. I have no way to contact NASA or my crewmates, but even if I could, it would take 4 years for another manned mission to reach me, and I'm in a HAB designed to last 31 days. So, in the face of overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option. I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this. Okay, let's do the math. I gotta figure out how to grow 4 years worth of food here on a planet where nothing grows. But if I can't figure out a way to make contact with NASA, none of this matters anyway.
Houston, be advised. We've got a video message. It's directed to the whole crew. Play it.
My God. Mark Watney's still alive.
In your face, Neil Armstrong.
So, among the many milestones of this film, I love it anytime a noun becomes a verb. The birth of a new tense for a word. Not only that, all the major activity of this film was expressed through the lens of science, technology, engineering, and math. You didn't know where he was born, or if he had siblings, or had a girlfriend, or a boyfriend. None of that mattered, because all you cared about is he smart enough to not die? That was that, and so that's where all the suspense was embedded in that challenge. And I think it may be a first in movie making where interpersonal relationships is not what carried the suspense or flavor interest of the film. And it had marquee actors, each having had star roles in films of their own, all coming together, playing scientists and engineers and mathematicians. It's, I think, a sign of hope. Let's make America smart again. All right. Oh yeah, thermodynamics. This is the study of heat and heat transfer from one place to another. Heat energy, thermodynamics. It's in physics, which takes us right to, of course, the Matrix. So, has anyone here not seen the Matrix? Okay, if you're 8, that's okay, if you haven't seen the Matrix. Other people in the front row, you should be embarrassed. In the top row, anybody have not seen the Matrix? Okay. All right, just checking. So in this, the whole world is a computer simulation. Okay? That's what's going on. And computers run the world. And they're renegade people that figured out the computer runs the world, and they're trying to do something about it. So Neo, who's Keanu Reeves, is brought out of this state. Now, what is that state? These are pods where they're growing humans. And the machines are tapping energy from the humans to help themselves survive. In fact, you can calculate how much energy we give off. We go off between, depending how big you are, between 80 and 100 watts. Okay? So that's the rate at which we give off energy. About 100 watts of power, okay? So the machines know this. They're growing humans and tapping the energy from all these humans. He is woken up from this, and for the first time he sees the real world and what the machines are doing. He was in one of these pods. And by the way, they could get better energy from people if they embedded their brains with real lives. So inside the heads of everyone here, they go to work, they pay their rent, take out the garbage. They're leading entire lives inside their heads, as was he until he woke up. Now, so Morpheus, who's the lead renegade here, is alerting Neo for the first time that the machines have turned us into an energy source, a battery.